Hey everybody, I wanted to talk about fibromyalgia tonight. Fibromyalgia is this chronic pain syndrome that has led to a lot of people being able to get laughed out of clinics, get disability, or just be confused. Honestly, it's one of my favorite diagnoses because of this. It means that your doctor knows that you have pain and believes you, but doesn't know where it comes from, doesn't know what to do about it. So they give you a title that just means you have body pain. If you look into the research, which I did just making sure that my knowledge was up to date, I looked in there and I said, are there tests? And there was no reliable test for fibromyalgia that I could find. So nothing well accepted. I looked for autoimmune connections, which it's thought to be potentially autoimmune, possibly neurological, possibly associated with depression, possibly all just in your head, which I never like to hear that. That's not an option. So what is going on in fibromyalgia? Well, here's the experience that I've had. One of the most common things that I ask patients when they come into the office is, do we have body pain? And I'm not talking about, do you hurt just right here? And that's something that could be taken care of by a chiropractor or a physical therapist or simply getting to yoga or exercise. I'm asking, do you hurt just to be touched, just to be squeezed in your muscle, general pain? So I just call it body pain because I don't want to give you a title of a untreatable, lifelong disease that is not well understood called fibromyalgia. Now, I may mention it to somebody, but that doesn't mean that I believe that it actually has a base in where you should have a diagnosis. Because for me, when I want to have somebody that has a diagnosis, I want there to be some substance to it so that we can understand the mechanism so that we can get well. So for me, I call it body pain. Now, what have I seen fix this? It's generally, to me, an irritation of either the muscles, the vascularity, or the nerves, and that can be from infections and toxins of any kind. So if you have Lyme disease or parasites, if you have heavy metal toxicity or glyphosate, if you eat garbage and your body is full of pesticides and other preservatives, if you have a systemic yeast infection due to many of those reasons that I just stated, then your body's not going to feel good. Your lymph is going to back up, your lymphatic ducts that are all around your body. So it's basically making you feel like you're full of toxic waste. So everywhere you touch is sensitive because of that. Just like if you get a sunburn, and I know they don't feel the same, and I know they're not the same thing, but in a similar state, a sunburn is actually a chemical burn, and if you touch it, it hurts, right? And I know that fibromyalgia is deeper than that. But if you think of it in the same way, if you can remove the irritant, in the sunburn's case, the sun, on fibromyalgia, it's inside, internal in the tissue. If you can remove that out from whatever it was, then you can find a way to reach a point where you feel well. And I've seen this happen over and over and over and over again, time and time again. And when we get through protocols and we get to the end, we feel better. Now, how do we figure out what we have inside of us? Well, there's great assessments out there. There are lots of lab tests. You should be looking for inflammation. If you're dealing with fibromyalgia, you should be looking at C-reactive protein, homocysteine, and sed rate. You should be looking at your oxalates. So do you have a high oxalate test? And those are some of the big ones that you're looking for. You can also do a test, urine test from Great Plains Laboratory to look for mycotoxins, heavy metals, and environmental toxicities. You can go over to DNA Connections, IGenics, Vibrant Labs, and you can test for Babesia. You can test for Lyme or Bartonella. Not all of these tests are perfectly accurate. They all have caveats that come with it about situations in your life, but they give you a concept of what may be going on in your body. Now, beyond those things, once you've identified what you've got to get out, that's when going to the detox process and true healing strategies that we built and wrote and then put in there is really going to help you to understand the process you have to go through to get well. But it's simple to think, figure out what's going on, remove the irritant, allow the body to heal. There you go. That's the simplicity that comes with fibromyalgia. Although it is a highly complex situation and condition, it comes down to just those simple steps of figure out what it is and get rid of it. But you've got to find a doctor that you can work with that can get you the proper labs or understand the proper assessments to figure out what infections and toxins you're dealing with and knows how to get those out of your body without creating more harm. So I hope this is helpful to those of you out there that have dealt with the term fibromyalgia and have met with doctors who either laugh at you or give you that term and say, just deal with it, go home, here's your pain med, here's your anti-inflammatory, and that's it. Because that's not enough. You can get through this and you can get well. So I hope this was educational. I hope this helps. See you guys later.